Hi, everyone. Welcome. I want to say hello to some new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us. And welcome back if you're an existing subscriber. So happy to have you here. Tonight, we're doing the first of a series of 4 meditations to help heal our nervous systems. And the work that we do here complements the work that you do with your doctor. So if you have significant issues with the nervous system, talk to your doctor, talk to your therapist. This is in addition to whatever work you may be doing with them. So speaking of the nervous system, one of the best things you can do to relax is to attend sound baths. And they used to be things that you had to go in person to generally a yoga studio for, but now they are both online and everywhere from corporate retreats to cancer centers. There's a lot of science behind what the benefits are for the body, for the mind, for the mood, and for sleep. So I am doing a sound bath on October 19th. It's a week from Sunday, and I'd love for you to come. And the link to the tickets is in the description of the show tonight. So the nervous system. I'm going to use a very basic layman's language around this. And obviously there's a lot to know, and we will continue to discover more and more about the nervous system. However, there seem to be about 4 modes that the nervous system uses to protect us and to help us: fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. And tonight we're going to talk about when those natural and important strategies to defend yourself tip into self-sabotage. Okay, that's when you are overworking yourself, you are endlessly hustling, you have a main hustle, you have 2 or 3 side hustles, you never stop, and you never feel like you are enough. That's when you know that you have tipped into an extreme version of the fight response in the nervous system. So we're going to be meditating on healing that response later in the time we have together. And I know we have a couple of new people watching this, either live or in the recording, so I'll just tell you what you can expect tonight. We're going to breathe together, and the purpose of breathing together is not only to bring your nervous system into a state where we can do this work together, but it's also to, hi Diane, so glad you're here. It's also to help facilitate the emanation of the intention. The work we do here takes the words of a thought, the intention, and we move from our brain to our heart chakra, and we use the energy of the heart to project it out into the quantum field. And then we follow that energy in our mind's eye to see what sort of impressions and insights, images, sights, sounds, sensations, feelings, whatever it is that may come of your time following the energy of that intention. Okay, so I'm really excited. We have 2 intentions tonight, the one for all of us, which we'll do last, for our nervous systems, but we're also going to support someone who is undergoing a spiritual awakening. It's really, really beautiful. She wrote the intention, and although there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot of moving parts to this intention. Don't worry about it. Just grab onto the heart of it, the core energy of it, and we'll support her by sending this intention out. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and breathe together first. I'm going to use one of my sound bowls to chime us in. So, hand over your heart to remind you to breathe through the heart space. Inhaling 4, 5, 6. Slightly longer exhale 5, 6, 7. Inhale and exhale. You might have already felt your shoulders drop. Inhale, exhale, and a little shift inside the mind. Inhaling and exhaling. Signaling to the nervous system that it's safe to do this work. It's safe to be here. Inhale and exhale. And now at this point, I'd like you to consciously connect heart to heart with me. This is what amplifies the energy going out to the quantum field. Inhale and exhale. We are connected now, and anytime you watch this recording, you can still join the group energy. We are now connected. Our first intention, we'll meditate together on this for 5 minutes. I'll read it to you, and then we'll send it out, and the music will play, and we'll follow the energy. We now intend that healer Starla ribbon-kept Horowitz remains healthy and well in all ways, navigating an enriching and fruitful new chapter of her life. She continues to find beauty in the mundane, wonder in the infinite, within the lantern to keep her heart and mind river safe. She is surrounded by abundance, light, patience, understanding, and forgiveness with good humor. She rests and heals, returning to her good work with renewed faith in herself and her confidence, and continues to lead with compassion as ever. We intend that she is kept and chosen by the vow, light and dark in perfect harmony. So allow the essence of this intention to move from your mind to your heart and send it out into the quantum field and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention and release it with love. Beautiful. So hold on to the images and insights that this brought you, and we'll be able to share them after we do our next intention. Hello, Sonia. Hi, Roslyn. So happy to have you guys here. All right, our final intention tonight. This is for all of us. Healthy and well in every way, we now intend to notice when our natural fight response becomes self-sabotage and to release immediately, completely, and permanently any and all unhelpful stress. So allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra, send it spiraling out into the quantum field, and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention for all of us and release it with love. And so it is. So now, if you'd like to post in the chat any information or insights or impressions that you received during the meditations, that would be great. And I'll put them on the screen so everyone can share. And earlier, I was talking about how the nervous system, these are natural states, but you can tip into a self-sabotage version of that. And I wanted to say more about that, because when you are stuck in high alert with fight, you can't relax, you can't sleep, you can't calm down, you can't heal. And that's a particular interest to me. If you are too stressed out to properly sleep, your body is going to suffer. And that's part of the reason why we want to address this. Any strength, and it is a strength to be able to defend yourself, right? That's an important feature of our nervous system. But when it goes too far, it becomes a weakness, and it is very, very difficult on the body if you're stuck in high alert, stuck in high gear, feel like you just can't stop, your mind won't stop. Yeah. We've all been there. We've all experienced that at some point in our life. And, stress is helpful. It has many, many benefits, but when it becomes unhelpful, that's what we want to be able to release. So I'll keep an eye on the chat if you want to make your notes in there. But I also want to tell you what I experienced. In the first intention for Starla, it was so interesting because I saw her as a star or a comet, and she was arcing up above the current level, right? Like she started at this level and she arced up and above, and she landed at a much higher level. But it was a bumpy landing, and she ended up on her bum, right? It was sort of like when you ducks come in for a landing, right? And it's bounce, bounce, bounce. So she did this sort of thing, and she was startled, and then she started laughing because it was actually quite funny. And then a group of friends came up to her and helped her up, and they were laughing and talking, and they all started going off together on this beautiful, brightly lit plateau or plain. There was a bit of an incline, so there were challenges, but it was just beautiful. And she was very excited to be in the company of these friends. So whatever is coming, whatever is unfolding for you, this is going to be something that you will really benefit from sharing with other people. So finding your family of frequency, finding like-minded people, it'll be really, really beautiful. So I'm really happy for you. I'd love to hear how things unfold. And let's see. Diane has notes on the second intention. Did I miss? Okay. For the second intention, this is the one for all of us. Diane G says, for the second intention, I saw a kid version of myself being sulky and stomping her foot. So I just hugged her and told her that she matters. Oh, that is lovely. Yes. Yeah, I am a huge believer that we can go back into the past and heal. I've seen it happen many, many, many times. Thank you, Diane. For the second intention, what I saw was I saw myself going throughout my day, and then at one point I said, uh-oh, I'm doing it again, right? Where I had tipped into that sort of like revving it up and high alert, high stress sort of thing. And I just put my hand over my heart and I took a few breaths, and all of a sudden I was back into the part of your nervous system where you can really think, right? Like if you're too revved up, you can't even access the parts of your brain that are creative and make excellent, wise decisions. You can't access it. So that's why it's really, really important to be able to notice when you tip into that self-sabotage energy. And what I really loved about the constant reminders to myself is that eventually I was more in tune with how my body was feeling, right? Is my body telling me that we're into the overwrought sort of high intensity aspect of this fight response? And I just liked being more in tune with my body and how it was feeling as I was going throughout the day. Because our body is like our best friend, right? It is how we navigate this lifetime, and it's talking to us all the time, but we are trained to ignore and to denigrate the body. And I think that's a mistake. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for this body that the earth has provided for us. So I'm a big fan of making friends with your body. And Diane writes, for the first intention I saw Starla's eyes twinkling, like she's seeing things others aren't seeing. Beauty, magic, and wonder. Wow. Yeah, I bet that's true. That is wonderful. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do want to say a couple things about this style of meditation. It's very fast. It's very easy, and you don't have to repeat this. We've sent it out to the quantum field, the little packet of energy that we've sent out from our hearts and amplified by being together in the intention. It's going to go off and do its work. So we don't have to be concerned about the outcome or repeat the intention over and over again. It's not like that at all. And I want to remind you that the more you do this work, even if you're not intending for yourself, you're intending for other people, the more benefit you get as the person who is contributing to this energy. And I am reminded of a time when we were meditating for someone who was having some thyroid problems, and I had just been to the doctor, and for the first time ever, my thyroid numbers were a little off, but they weren't anything that we needed to address. It was just sort of like, well, let's keep an eye on it. And then we did this intention for Emily on her thyroid, and during it, I felt my entire body respond to the intention. And I went and had my thyroid numbers checked again, and they were perfect, and they've been perfect ever since. And that was a few years ago. And I know I had a spontaneous healing of my thyroid during that meditation for someone else. So I just want to share that with you, so that if you are wondering, does this stuff work? Do these experiments these thought experiments in energy work? Yes, they absolutely do. And meditating for other people, if you're too shy to ask for an intention for yourself, I totally understand. No problem. You are still getting a lot of benefit from doing this. Okay. All right. Well, I think that might be our meeting tonight. And so it is. Yes. It's time to disentangle our energy from the group. Yes, we receive healing from intentions for others. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And if this style of meditation comes from a book called The Power of Eight by Lynne McTaggart, I highly recommend the book. It's very inspiring, very helpful. And I've been doing this since 2019, using this style of meditation to help people. And I can't say enough good things about it. It's just so helpful and so useful. So, yes, thank you. Diane G, you're helping me so much tonight. It is time to disentangle. So we've talked a lot about the quantum field, and by being here together, by deciding to connect our energy and do this work together, we have entangled ourselves, but we are going to consciously disentangle our energy from the group, and we'll do that just the same way as we did to connect. We are going to breathe together. Oops. hand over heart to remind you to breathe through the heart space. Just for about a minute, you'll breathe in very comfortably, 4, 5, 6, and exhale, so relaxed, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, slightly longer exhale. Shoulders relaxing, body soft and comfortable. That little shift in consciousness, it's like leaving a party, closing the door behind you and being out in a beautiful, starry, quiet night. We consciously withdraw our energy from the group. Our energy comes back to us. Their energy goes back to them. Good energy hygiene. Inhale and exhale. Oh, there it is. Thank you, everyone. It was really wonderful to be with you, and thank you for doing this work to me. Such a pleasure. Good night, everyone.